Hi, welcome to my tube. My name is Marge. I'm a yoga wise clown. I'm an empath. Just like to do little daily talks on energy. I already did one, but I forgot something important I was going to mention. I get a lot of stuff through, TV. I know TV's awful, but it's about what you pick and choose to watch. I'll start watch something. I like feel good stuff, or stuff that makes you feel, the whole spectrum. Yeah, from carbon to crystalline emotions. That's what I like to call it. Everything's all been carbon for so long, all dirty and gross, and it's created so much pressure on the planet that it's brought people to a frequency of crystalline base sensations, knowings. We are changing our programs, our bodies are changing, and I'm not seeing the. Maybe I'm seeing the spiritual evidence of more medicines that are, maybe because our bodies are changing, they're becoming more responsive to some medicines, like, these that are claiming they've cured cancer and Alzheimer's and things, whatever, these things that are claiming that maybe it's because our body's changing that the stuff is starting to work. Who knows? There's never really any kind of way to know something all the way 100%. So there's always wonder. There's always room for wonder. Because sometimes people tell us show up and represent themselves in a certain kind of way, but they're not that kind of way at all. They're entirely different. Underneath, they act completely contrary, and it creates dissonance. Yeah. People like me, people that read energy, you just don't jive. The older I get, I just don't mess with it. The world is actually pretty small if you think about it. I think about it. I think about the world being small. Not everybody likes sports, so think about how many people don't have anything in common between people that like sports and don't. Or some people don't like music. I don't get those people at all, but I do know that they exist. I wish them well. Maybe I'd ask, I got questions about that because music is my favorite, it's one of my favorite things. I love animals too. I was watching, I used to watch a show on Netflix called Derek. Yeah, it's a good show. It wasn't on for very long. Not a lot of shows, That's why I never get too attached to things, because things I like don't stick around long, They're not mainstream. So it's like you got to take what you get, because you never know if they're going to come back another season. I learned that with Firefly the hard way a long time ago. But it was even after the fact, so I can understand how disappointed those fans were as it was happening. Anyway, so that show introduced me to Ricky Gervais. God, I hope I pronounced. I'm just hooked on phonics. That's all. And he has a new show that started on Friday, and I already watched. There's only 6 episodes, so I already tore through them. Good show. It's called The Afterlife, and it totally coincides with with my life experience. It's really aligned with me. Yeah, I used to do that. I used to be so. I don't want to give too much away. I don't like giving too much away, but I used to be so angry because I was so hurt. What happened is I was cold. I was cold, like you get when you're a bad kid at Christmas. It's funny because I tell their stories about Christmas, and it's dirty and it's gross and freaking can't, and it's all these nasty things. And we're all carbon based, we've all been I was taught we're all carbon based and under all this pressure and scrutiny, and that ain't right, and that ain't right, and why should I even try? Because the level ground isn't even, the playing field isn't level. And then what's happened is, as time goes on and astrology keeps going on and spinning emotions inside us, and we have our free will to act how we and choose to act how we want, to do the right thing, to not be angry if we don't get our way, and to not, be mean to people because we don't feel good. I have a hard time with that one. I get real freaking surly when I don't feel good. And sometimes if I don't feel real good, I just won't even go out, because it's not fair for me to put that on other people because I don't feel good and I can't contain, I'm not willing to, because because I can. Sometimes I just like don't feel, my head hurts so bad. I don't care. It's like I'm miserable. Everyone else fucking, why are you miserable? Good for you. You feel great. Only be happy for you. Right? And that's what all spirituality is. It's like having a headache and trying to be good when you just feel like shit. And bird, it's just one of the analogies. Many. There's really many. Anyway, so I started to watch Derek or the afterlife. And from all this pressure and all this, people letting go of what people have told him is true. Oh, you got to do this. You got to go to college. You got to do this. There's a story broke in the side note of the truth always comes out. In a special report of that, Yale, all these schools. What is it, Yale? House is going to be a little fuller this term because old girl got indicted from the Fuller house, because you can't, parents they do spend so much resources trying to freaking protect their kids, give their kids the best life. The best thing you can do is let your kid freaking fail, dude. My parents didn't have any problem with me having a problem with doing that. My dad helped me pay my DOI fine when I was 20. Early 20s, I got a DOI, $15.77. So he did that. Child support, not so much, but he did pay that fine. So maybe that is his, I don't know. It's his ticket to freedom, Hands free of me. Yeah. So, anyway. So with all this, people telling us how things are supposed to go for so long, and we, as we get older, we either listen to our bullshit meter more or we ignore it. That's pretty much it. People that have listened to theirs, they get to the point, man. That's why you have like the older people that just freaking say whatever they want. I'm just an older person that says whatever I want. I'm just halfway to 90 in a couple weeks. I'm just not old yet. But I say what I want because, number one, most people, aren't listening anyway. And if I'm being respectful, and if someone pops off at me with disrespect, then I can, turn and walk the way. Or if I want to waste my energy on engaging by making them have a little self-realization, that's fine too. But hopefully, the older I get, I just want to save my energy and I'm getting too tired. So it's somebody, let them sort that out within themselves, I get the turn the other cheek. I never got the turn the other cheek. I get the turn the other cheek. It's just like, whatever, dude. Your world. I'll welcome you to it. I'll leave you to that. So, crystalline carbon. So what's happening though is all this, people are stepping into their beauty. People are really, from the pressures of life and things like that, being lied to and just freaking kicked down and beat down, and just watching, some people get advantages some ways and some people not. To get disregarded just because somebody wanted to help this person and not this person. It's just freaking help everybody, just help everybody. So, the afterlife, that's what happened to me is I got my heart broken too many times. And then what I did is I learned how to keep myself out of situations that are going to put myself in harm's way. Yeah. I took that responsibility on myself. I don't give it on to nobody. That's why I get so baffled when people are like, well, you sound like you're the victim. No. I'm not. Bad shit has happened to me. Bad shit has happened to me. Some of the stuff I put myself in that situation, but I didn't put myself in bad situations when I was like, 11 months old and 3 years old and stuff like that. But you know what? That didn't even break me. It just taught me every bad person I've ever come across, I've taken a snapshot of their soul. So whenever I come across people that remind me of them, I don't care if they're, they could be the greatest person that, I'm telling myself, just be cautious, just be cautious. I'm going to end up on this. It's, are all these people, just ask yourself this. Because I know there's going to be a lot of new relationships starting in its spring. Maybe if you've never, ever, ever waited to jump in the sack with somebody, why don't you try this experiment? Because, if you're in a new relationship and none of them have ever worked out, and you've always just jumping in the sack with them, try not jumping in the sack with them. Wait. Just wait a while. Try it. Wait a few months. I think about how many people, how many babies wouldn't have been born if people would have waited. How many marriages would have ended up in divorce because they would have seen something in that first 3 months that would have kept them from further and continuing, because that's all dating is. People lie, people put up airs, people, if someone thinks that you're attractive, they will act however you want them to act until they get you, and then they're going to start acting like themselves, because people know how people are and they manipulate, and things like that. That's why I like the peculiar folks that always just speak their truth. I hope you have a rad day. Peace.